chit-chat with everybody, and I'd like to welcome to the stage my dear friend, writer, actor, director, Crosby T. Roper. And Jenny DeRose. Of photography as well as a visual artist. I have no manners, I should have introduced myself. I am Danny Cesario, supportive friend, an architect, and other things. Anyway, we're here to talk about them. So, take a deep breath. Okay. So the film went there. As I've seen many iterations of it, and really, really excited for how far it's come and the stories that it tells. Amongst them, we speak about, there's a conversation around the table about identity and the one-drop rule and what it means to be. And I think we're in a climate where who we are and what we represent is even more at the forefront. And so, we talk about identities often in this really polar way. You're either this or you're that, and you tick a box, right? But your film goes there in terms of talking about the plurality of identity, and rather than polarity. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about that and some of the imagery used?
I sure would. Is it on? Yeah. I guess in making the film, it was kind of cathartic in a way because it was an amalgamation of some experiences that I had growing up, starting from a kid, like the little girl in the movie, of just being confused about what people's perceptions of me were, and just feeling really different and feeling like I didn't fit in. You know, my dad's black, my mom's white, not really feeling fully accepted in either space. And then going to college and trying to pay for college, as we all have to figure out. And I for whatever reason, the whole daddy issue thing is some years of that, but deciding to work in a strip club was something that I chose to do. And there were definitely added some boxes to my life, and all of the scenes in the film were based on real situations and real conversations that I either overheard or was a part of. So yeah, being in college and off of the back of childhood and trying to figure it out, and in your early 20s, you don't know anything. You know, you're just going through life, and I was just existing. I was living, and people are telling me what I am and telling me, that I'm, objectifying me because I work in a space, and I'm really just trying to make money, to be an intellectual, to be an architect, and it was met with a lot of confusion. So, and within those realms too is race, and then it's being a woman and being perceived in architecture in a space that's very male dominated. It's very white. It's very sterile. And I was I think I was one of two people of color in the whole class. And so that was polarizing in and of itself, just being in an architectural space and then that night going to the strip club. And I was just living. I didn't really think anything of it, but people didn't understand it. And so that coupled with race, and it was just a lot of limbo that I was in that I really didn't even flesh out until I started writing this. So everything you saw was real. The dinner party scene, Danny was there for dinner at a fellow friend of ours, that happened. And it was actually Danny's comment, like, whoa, she's actually, her mom's from England, that Danny said that. So I put that in there, but yeah, all of that was real. So that was my way of kind of my therapy of trying to figure out like who I am and how do I take up my own space and how do I find my voice, because I've always felt like I couldn't talk about it. You know, you can't, even as a woman, you can't talk about being objectified, especially if you're in a strip club. How dare you? You know, you put yourself here. What do you mean you won't want to be objectified? You know, and being mixed, you know, there's the whole tragic mulatto and the conversation about privilege, and it was, yeah.
What is a tragic mulatto? What's that trope?
So that is the trope of, starting from slavery, of mixed people who are the product of the slave master and a slave. The idea that mixed people are inherently lost or confused, and they don't know who they are. And there's some truth to it. But I think in modern times, we kind of use it as a reason to not give mixed people the space to have any kind of complaints, because we're supposed to have the good hair and we're light-skinned. And, you know, we're not supposed to complain about it. But there is a lot of truth behind feeling like you don't really have a community. Like, you know, I'm accepted, you know, my whole family is black and my whole family is white, and like they love me, but there's no, it feels like people get to choose who I am when they feel like it. You know, like Obama is black, right? You know, Halle Berry is black when she wins an award. You know, no one talks about Halle Berry being mixed very often, you know? So that's the mulatto trope.
There's a lot of this either-orness, right? That's why I find the polarity. And I was curious to hear from you, Jenny. How did you delve into some of that through the film, through literal color? And, you know, setting up the scenes, how did you sort of delve into the experience of color through the use of it?
You guys hear me? Yeah. Okay, cool. So, in the scenes with the strip club, I wanted to make them as vibrant as possible, because I also worked as a dancer for 6 years doing Crosby. Talked about this before we shot the film. So it was a very unique experience that we both were strippers at various points of our lives, and I worked in the clubs. I know how the lights are, I know how the composition is. So I wanted to show it as something that's bright, but I wanted to show the phantom as something that's dark. And then also with the scene at the dinner table, I chose that the fisheye lens to make Crosby feel small, because during that scene, like, she was being questioned about her identity, and I made certain lens choices, certain color choices. I was involved in the coloring process. I wanted to be involved in the process as they were coloring it, to make sure that the colors aligned with how I saw the film in my head. I wanted bold colors, I wanted skin tones to pop, I wanted to be diverse, I wanted to tell a story that you don't usually hear. So I wanted to focus on colors, on lights, and stuff like that.
Little Bird told me that you won an award or something. It's a rumor on the street. Tell me more about that.
So we won the Panavision New Filmmakers Award for this film. Panavision gifted us with an Alexa Mini LF, the Panavision Primo lenses, the Panavision Zoom, and it was a blessing to get that, because I feel like as a filmmaker, especially as a filmmaker of color, where like we have a barrier and there's not a lot of things that are gifted to us, or like we're not allowed to like have those spaces where we get gear. So I was really grateful to get that. We're able to create the film for it, and like using those lenses, we're able to tell the story with the fisheye or the zoom, for example, with the house, zooming into the house to show, you know, like the dichotomy between like the club and the house, stuff like that. So that was really dope to have.
I had a question about some of the imagery. You mentioned the phantom. What did they represent?
So for me, like I'm monoracial. I'm just black. I'm not biracial. So for me, the phantom represented her identity and how, you know, she was dealing with it throughout the film. I don't know if this is how it was in the film, but how I saw it, it was the phantom. He'd pop up in the conversations we're having, like forcing her to deal with who she is, being put in a box. And that's how I saw it when I was reading the script and going through the treatment and making the lookbook and putting the lenses and creating the look for the film. I wanted to like have the phantom be this presence in the background that's, you know, questioning who she is as she's going through these interactions in the film.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Also, literally represents like the slave master. You know, it's a generational trauma thing. It's a lot of Black bodies experience the trickle down from slavery, and it exists in us in everyday micro aggressions. So it's like the little thing in the back of your head that tells you like you're not enough, you're doing it wrong, no one likes you, you're not welcome here. So
I'm never gonna look at Dollhouse the same. Don't know about the rest of you, but can you tell us more about that? I mean, I know in architecture we use models to show space, but tell me more about the dollhouse and furthering the imagery of colonial America and that experience.
Yeah, the dollhouse was really just for me because I was just like dollhouses and I wanted to make one. So I made that by hand and it modeled it after the house. We went and saw the house and then I made the plans and then I made it out of like foam core and even made all the interiors, which I'm not sure we added that in, but that was really just a little Easter egg for me. But it's kind of was a nod to my my childhood, my innocence, and the connection to, like I said, the generational trauma and ancestral ties. So quite literally like the plantation house, like literally where so many of our ancestors, where mixed people came from, where they would have been was in that house, and so I wanted it to be kind of haunting. And then I also, the way I built it was the front of the house looked like the house in the movie, and then the other side of the house was for the crit scene. So it was like a dual model, and then smashing it was really, really cathartic. And it was like one shot take and just like went after it. Yeah. So
can you tell us a little bit more about that particular scene? In architecture school, we often hear the horror story of the professor who sets somebody's model on fire, and there are definitely times as a student you want to set your own work on fire. How cathartic was that? What went into that scene, from the way it was shot to the way it was portrayed?
The way we shot it. I mean, we obviously shot it in order. So we shot the kind of the monologue where my character is really like facing the phantom and like going in on him and having this moment of clarity, like what the fuck, like what everyone wants me to be something and it's impossible. I'm being pulled in all these different directions. So yeah, it was. I mean, for me, in acting in it, it was super cathartic because we had shot that so many times, right? It was like a lot of times we did that monologue.
4 times?
Yeah. It felt like 20.
But you only damaged the model one time.
I only had one shot,
okay.
and I was still like hot off of the heels of doing the monologue. And and thank you cast and crew they did not know. Yeah, thank you guys.
Also, I want to shout out Cheyenne Finch for pulling focus on that house. Cheyenne, where are you?
Is she here?
Period.
Oh, yeah, that was amazing. So yeah, it was nerve-wracking, but like I was saying, the cast and crew, we shot this in 4 days, like not in order, and nobody knew what was going on. Like, crew didn't read the script, cast read just their scene, so everybody was like, I don't know what this is. Like, she's in a stripper outfit, we're smashing dollhouses, it's just weird. But it was really cool. And Ime, thank you so much for. She was the co-director, Ime. She was my eyes and guided. When I was like not fully present and taking that chair to the house. So yeah, it was great. It was fun.
So we talk about inclusion and we talk about exclusion, or maybe we don't talk about it as much, but we experience it, right? So what got left on the editing room floor, as they say?
So much. I mean, so much of what I wrote wasn't even shot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was supposed to be a one-woman show first, and then we whittled it down to 25 minutes, and then we whittled it down to what's here, and so there is a scene that was a pretty pivotal scene that we unfortunately had to cut, but that Danny's daughter played me, the version of me. So but there was a scene right in the beginning that kind of explained the relationship between younger version of my character and the Phantom, and so the Phantom, and also the character that we kind of saw a little bit of, the long braid that was supposed to be representative of the ancestor, a mixed person's ancestor. So the scene was the ancestor ghost lady was talking to the young child, trying to give her some inspirational words of advice for just finding her voice and living her own life regardless of what people try to turn her into. And then the Phantom comes and takes over the ancestor's body and starts spewing this hate. It's very like sci-fi and weird.
It was a really cool scene.
It sounds insane, but no, it was yeah, very. But yeah, we had to cut it for time, but it was such a shame because Melania, her daughter, is just stunning performance. Like, oh my God, just Melania. I wish she was here, but she's 10 years old. I remember when I rehearsed at your house before we shot, and we're going through the lines, and she was 8 at the time, and she was like, so like, what's my inspiration? Like, what's my motivation? Like, who am I as a character? And I was like,
It's my origin story.
yeah, she was like, so what do I want? And it's just incredible. But I'm so sad that maybe we'll do like a director's cut or something. But, yeah.
Well, if it's any consolation, why you scared, baby girl? It's a common phrase around the house. Very scary. But thank you. I think she had the time of her life, and you actually have been such an inspiration to her that she wants to do film camp or something.
She would be incredible.
So thank you very much. My wallet does not thank you. For being an inspiration. So in the spirit of inspiration, what's next for both of you? What's next for the film?
Well, we just won a couple of awards. So a couple of film festivals, one in LA. We're in the running for Best Experimental Short of the Year at the Indie Short Fest at LA Live, so that's pretty exciting. So I hope to shop it around more. I'd like to make another short, maybe, just as creepy, just as weird, but maybe I'm really passionate about talking about people who consider themselves to be others in whatever storyline that takes me, specifically being mixed. So maybe my parents' story, maybe
a drama and a love story.
And their story is real messy. I think everybody would like it. So
make it a holiday film. I'm tuning in. What's next for you, Jenny?
I have a couple film premieres coming out.
Period. This humble brag. I'm loving it.
Humble brag. And I'm just trying to shoot more weird films about people that are on the fringes of society. Because like I said, I worked in the clubs for 6 years. It's one of those things where you can't leave for a long time and you get stuck in this cycle. Which is why with the house at the end of the film, the red light in the club showed in the house too. It's like you're kind of stuck in that house because you can't leave the club for years at a time. So it's one of those things. As I stopped dancing in July, so I'm full-time DP and I'm working. I started as a PA, getting coffee, worked my way up, the whole thing. But I have a couple of film premieres coming out, and I'm just trying to shoot more weird shit, some weird stories that people don't know they tell.
Can you please both do us a favor and keep us posted in everything that you do next? We are intrigued, we are inspired, and thank you so much for sharing your stories and your creativity and your talent with all of us.
Thank you everyone for coming. Honestly, this is incredible. I'm just gonna try not to cry, but this has been incredible. Everybody that helped, everyone. Love everybody, and there's so much love. Thank you so much for being here and supporting. Love you. Hopefully bigger and better. Like we're gonna keep going. I I don't want to do this forever, so.
This is my first panel. I was very nervous. So thank you for bearing with me with my social anxiety.
You did so well.
Is that all there is?
That's all I have.
We're gonna do a song and dance, I think, now, no?
Is it time for the jig?
Are we gonna jig?
Yeah?
Maybe next time. All right, I think that's it. Thank you.
We've got the space for about another hour, so please get more drinks, tip your bartenders, and thank you so much, Danny, for leading a fantastic panel. Thank you.